It has begun. The preliminary talks for a big fight with Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis at 154 pounds. They have begun. In this video, I'm going to break that down, and you guys should enjoy this awesome commentary. Now, boxing reporter Dan Rayfield, he put on his website, per Golden Boy Promotions, Eric Gomez, which is De La Hoya's lifelong friend and president of Golden Boy, preliminary talks have begun with Matchroom, Eddie Hearn's rematch room, for a Vergil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis fight at 154 pounds, February 22nd, Riyadh season card. It says, here's my full review with Eric on the new podcast that drops tonight. Subscribe. So what does this mean? In my opinion, not that much, because, you know, people get hyped up in boxing. I've been in the game so long, so I've seen everything. The ups, the downs, the action. I've seen it all. And one thing I know is it's not really set in stone till it's set in stone. People get hyped up when, let's say, the WBC does a convention and they start ordering a bunch of fights. Oh, Ryan Garcia versus Pitbull. To this day, they've never fought. So hearing this, I don't really get excited these days because I'm not naive. However, there is a level of naivete where you have content creators, a lot of low quality content in the game. So you have content creators who will sensationalize this stuff and ultimately try to oversell it and get people hyped to try to get a click. I don't have to do that. You know, I'm boxing ego. I don't have to do all that. I don't have to sensationalize or glorify stuff that in my heart of hearts, I don't know if it happens or I don't think it'll happen, etc., to try to hype you guys up. Because what's the point? To leave the fight fans disappointed? You know, that's not really my bag. So when I hear these things, it's cool. But at this point, I have to hear a lot more developments for me to move a muscle. Just simply saying that talks have begun means very little. You still have to agree to the weight. You have to agree to the money, the terms. The only thing that is already decided is the date and the location, which is in Saudi Arabia, February 22nd. Another reason why me personally, I can't get excited about this is because for the longest we heard Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda on this same card, the same very card. And I told you the Tevin Farmer fight was not a good fight to take before, because you have to understand, you would want to excite Shakur Stevenson. Some people criticize his style, say it lacks action, this, that, and the third. So Zepeda, if he's not looking like an action guy, like he's looked through most of his career, then that's not going to excite people, because it's going to look like he's not ready. And then, you know, people are going to be like, oh, Shakur will easily outbox him, which is exactly what happened. Tevin Farmer, he's just too much of a like upset specialist or upset minded and kind of a spoiler style, where I knew he wasn't going to look good in that and look sensational like he had been looking, which was going to hamper and, you know, lessen the fight, which it did. And coincidentally, they come out with an injury report and say that Zepeda is injured. So on this same card, there was a fight that was talked about and publicized. And DAZN really needs to get it together in this department. Eddie Hearn and DAZN and Riyadh season, I think, are the absolute worst when it comes to this. This is talking about fights before they're made to the public. What does this accomplish? Now, I really want to know this. What do you gain by revealing prematurely before you have a fight, before you have any level of contracts or term sheet, or it doesn't even look like you have a fight 90% done? What is the point of prematurely talking about this? And I've said this from day one on my channel. I've never been a fan of negotiating in public. In my personal life and business, I don't do that either. For example, I've had several brand deals that the channel, you know, sponsors, and brand deals that I've accomplished or initiated on my channel, or not necessarily initiated. I was reached out to see if I wanted to do business. That's like me going live and telling y'all all the details And they want me to blah, 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 blah. Gatorade hit me up and they want to do a deal. Why would I do that? Why would I tell you about X, Y, and Z company reaching out to me? We don't have a deal. We don't have a contract. We don't have terms. And I'm just blabbermouthing about the solicit. I mean, there's a lot of people that will solicit you and it doesn't really amount to anything. It's like no different than an actor who he auditions for a casting call for a movie. That don't mean you got the movie. You just auditioned for it. So if it's in such a early stage and in that infancy, why would you go to social media and like almost jinx yourself by saying, hey, I'm going to be in the new Terminator movie. I'm going to be in the new Fast and the Furious. And you haven't signed anything. So I really dislike that. And I'm always going to say that because I'm very consistent. So Jaron Boots Ennis, Vergil Ortiz, it's another fight like that. What do you say if this fight doesn't get done, right? After hyping people up and like, for example, you literally had Eddie Hearn said February 22nd, I think it's the best card that Riyadh season has done. How can you say that if Jaron Ennis, Vergil Ortiz, good fight, is in preliminary talks? So that means the fight is not done. Then you thought you were going to have Shakur versus Zepeda. The fight clearly got canceled and is not done. So how can you have put out statements saying that this was the best card that Riyadh season has done? And really all it is a theory, an idea, a premise, more than we got these fights done. And I'll forever respect PBC for conducting their business in the opposite fashion, which is say less and just deliver. That's what boxing fans care about. Oh, David Benavidez is fighting David Morrell? Word? Count me in. I'm going to Vegas for that. The other issue is this fight with Boots and Vergil Ortiz. What's the end game? It's a good fight, but you're taking two guys who are American and putting them in the kingdom of Saudi, which I'm sure is a beautiful place. But at the same time, how does that really grow their profile? Especially if this card comes on, the Riyadh season cards that are happening in Saudi Arabia and stuff. For me, living in California, they come on at weird times, like 11 in the morning start time or 10 in the morning start time. And then the main event might be up about 2 p.m., 3 p.m. How are you going to build the winner of the fight, or Boots, Vergil Ortiz or whatever? How are you going to build them into a star and it's not coming on during prime time? Can you imagine if Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, they just fought and they said it was like 50 million plus viewers or whatnot? Imagine if they fought at 2 p.m. my time, Pacific Standard Time, right? It'd just be weird. So again, I'll keep you guys posted. I'm not validating these preliminary talks. It really means nothing to me until they get the fight done. It is a good fight. I think Boots and Vergil, the timing is a little bit sus because both of them are coming off of performances that had some level of disappoint. I thought Boachuk edged it out with Vergil Ortiz, even though he showed heart. And then I thought Boots looked worse in the Karen rematch. But nonetheless, it's still a good fight. Let me know what you guys think.